Hi. Hello. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here in California. Welcome to the hashtag Thursday Fave session for this week. So excited to have you here. You're probably on the hashtag replay if you're seeing this part of the video. If you are, go ahead and put your hashtag replay over in the comment box so that I know that you were here and you've seen the content. And throughout this entire video, you can leave your comments on anything that I've talked about. I'll come back to the video and I will answer your questions if you've had any questions. Or if you need more help, of course, I can help you. Now, let me double check that I am live here for you because I want to make sure you can hear me too. Okay, perfect. All right, now I can see comments and make sure that I'm not missing anything for you today. If you're here with me live, I want you to go ahead and put your hashtag live, which is what we put in the videos when you're here with me so that we can converse. And I know that you're getting all of the good info. If you didn't, if you need reminders for these things, you can send me a friend request. That way I can invite you to these events. You can put a reminder, your own reminder at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Thursday, almost every Thursday. I'm going to take a couple weeks off over the summer, but almost every Thursday I'm here with you live in the morning, 9 a.m. on Thursday. Or you can do your live video notifications in the group. You can turn that to all live videos or all videos, and you should get notifications, but it'll be last minute. So whatever feels good for you. All right, before we hop in today, I want to give a shout out to Denise Flynn. She is our hashtag Friday giveaway winner this week. I put up a post every Friday in the group asking you questions or just getting to know you a little bit better and what's going on with your baking business. When you comment on the thread, you get entered into our weekly giveaway and you get a special prize. So if you want to enter tomorrow, come back to the group, check it out, and put your information into the post so you can enter to win too. All right, today we're going to be talking about making a sexy menu. What do I mean by this? Why are we talking about it? So I want you to imagine, have you ever looked at a menu from another business? So kind of like clear your mind about what your menu looks like or what you want on your menu. Let's not think about that now. Let's think about other businesses. Have you ever looked at a menu and felt unimpressed, kind of like, what's going on here? Or maybe you're confused, like, I don't even know what they're selling, or why are they talking about this? Where's XYZ, right? Where's the price? Where's the location? Where's the important information? Or maybe it just turned you off, right? There's something about the menu that you're thinking, yuck. Has that ever happened to you? Think back to, like, I know it's been COVID, but the last few times you looked at menus. Have you ever felt that way? Hey, Danielle, good to see ya. Hey, Sarah. Okay, sounds good. Yep, you can replay later. Okay, so maybe it was because of grainy photos, like kind of gross looking photos. Maybe it was confusing copy. They were saying certain things on the menu that you didn't understand, or, maybe it was a type of menu where it kind of needed a little bit of explanation and they weren't giving that to you. Maybe it was just hard to read, right? Maybe it was a dark background with dark type and you just couldn't read it, or the opposite, light background with light type. It just wasn't a good menu, right? So that happened to me recently. we were thinking about going to a Peruvian restaurant. It was right next to a Indian restaurant. We were trying to choose between the two. So we went online and we looked at the menu for the Peruvian restaurant and I was completely turned off. I didn't even want to go inside after I looked at it. So because of that, I didn't walk in. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't smell the smells. I didn't look at the food. It was an immediate no. And it was literally all about how their menu was set up and what it looked like. So was their food good? I'll never know because I'm never going in there. But it was all because of the menu. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen to you in your business. It doesn't need to happen. So we're going to make sure that we cover 3 really big topics today so that you can look at your menu or think about how your menu is set up and change some things. And I'll give you some tips on getting more help if you need more help too. Okay. Hey, Tiana, good to see ya. All right, perfect. Okay, so an attractive menu can make or break your business. That's, you sell food for the most part, right? Maybe some services, but it's mostly edible items. So having a good menu for this is important. But it's not always easy to know what to include, especially if you have a lot of different offers or you serve different groups of people, right? So let's say you make wedding cakes and you make birthday cupcakes. They're kind of 2 different audiences. So knowing what to include or leave out of the menu to make sure it's sexy enough to make continuous sales and keep clients interested. And I'm using the word sexy because that's kind of what it is, right? You want them to stay engaged. You want them to stay interested. You want them to want more. You want them to look and be hooked, right? You don't want them to turn away because it turns them off. So I want to start with this first category of the best first impression that you can make. Really, in the whole wide world, when we think about like attracting people and things, saying that looks matter more isn't the best for, confidence, maybe if you're like in the dating world. But it really is true, especially with a menu, because the photos on your menu are what people see first. They're not going to read first. They're not going to read all about your beautiful ingredients. They're not going to read about how you're sustainable. They're not going to read about how you work with local farmers. They're not going to read about your, culinary degrees. They're going to look at the photos first. And that's just our human brain. That's what we do. So we eat with our eyes right away when we're looking through the photos, and no one's going to read anything before they do this. So that's why the looks are really the best first impression that you can make. You want to be looking at the photos in your menu. Do they make sense? They should probably be photos of things that are actually on the menu. I have seen menus where they'll put a photo of something up, either that they did not make, which is 100% no-go. Do not put photos of anything that you did not make on your menu or share them socially as something that you've made. It needs to be something that you've made. Go ahead and make it, keep track of it, claim it on your taxes as supplies. You want to make sure that it would really kind of be considered false advertising if you're putting photos up that aren't yours, right? So we want to make sure it's yours and it's on the menu, so it makes sense that it's there. And can you see everything clearly? Does the setup make sense? Is the background confusing? Are you trying to take a photo of something on a very intricate background that takes away from the product, right? And these are sort of like photography 101 skills, which you may or may not have at this point. But those are things that you're going to need to work on or have someone help you with to make sure that you can get at least a few really good photos to put on there. Well lit, of course, is one of the biggest factors. You don't want grainy or dark. Graininess usually comes from low light or a low quality camera. So light and a good camera, even if it's your phone camera that's more advanced. Like I think I have the Note 8 or the Note 9, and it's still a wonderful camera, even though it's years old, right? So just, if you're purchasing a smartphone, make sure you're getting one with a good camera on it. So having the menu items photographed, you don't have to do all of them, and there's probably, depending on what you serve, there's probably not enough room to photograph every single thing, and that's okay. You just want those big hitters up there, the ones that either look really stunning or are interesting to look at, or people have commented on before. Those would be great photos to put up. You want them to be hooked right away, so that's why we're having those on there. If you're not sure about your photography skills, I know until a couple years ago, I was not really on top of it myself. If you're not sure about that, we do have a whole entire course inside the Elite Mentorship Program, and it's put on by your actual photography coach. So there's a full photography coach in there. She talks to you about exactly what to do, showing you everything from lighting to composition to product placement and more. Pretty much everything that you need to know about photography 101, getting good photos for your menu. After you go through that course with her, you'll be amazed at the photos that you can take with minimal equipment and just your phone. She actually focuses on just using your phone because she knows plenty of people don't have the DSLR cameras, right? She does talk about that in case you do have one, but she makes sure that you can use the equipment, most of the equipment you have on hand already, to get these photos. So remember that natural light and a good quality camera, either handheld or your phone camera, make all the difference in your photography. Hey, Robin, good to see you. All right, so that's the first one, looks, right? Something I didn't have in my notes here, but to consider is I've never really seen a super nice, sexy menu come out of something like Microsoft Word. A really good program that you could look at is Canva. It's something that myself and all the coaches love and use. There's a free version and there's a paid version. We've all moved to the paid version because it's affordable and it's just got a lot more of the bells and whistles that we need for our businesses. But you could definitely start with the free one and check it out on there and see how you feel. There's templates to use. There's lots of good elements to put in, lots of different text to choose from. So it's really nice and it'll get you that sexy feel on your menu. If you need a link to sign up to Canva or you just want to look at it, let me know. I can send it to you so you can take a look. All right, number 2, this is the second section here. The most important content to include. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about what should be on the menu. And my answer is really just making it relevant and to the point. Okay, so like if we're thinking about sexy menus, we're not thinking about rambling on and on about yourself. We're not thinking about adding a bunch of things that aren't top sellers. We're not thinking about just shoving it packed full with options. And we'll talk about why that's not a good idea. So we want it to be relevant and efficient and attractive in what we've chosen to put up there. So when clients are looking at your menu, they're really trying to figure out if your products are for them or not. So they're trying to figure out, are they serving the type of things that I want, the price point, the design, that kind of thing, or not. So we got to kind of give them that information pretty quickly so they can make a choice, yes or no, fairly quickly. You don't want to ramble. You don't want to give them too much information about a certain topic because one, you don't really know who's looking at the menu. And if you have one product, let's say it's a birthday bundle, like a kid's birthday bundle, let's say that, and you go on and on and on about what it is and what it includes and this and that and when you show up, if you give them all of that information, think about a person looking at your menu that doesn't even have kids. That's probably going to turn them off and make them stop reading because you're talking too much about what is not important to them. And that's where you got to kind of draw the line of giving them a little bit of information so they know what it is, will they be interested or not? And then getting them engaged and giving them an avenue to ask additional questions about that, which I'll mention in just a moment. So having the great photos, clear, short descriptions about the products or services that you want to offer, and prices. I am definitely a price person. I think it is smart, kind, and respectful to put your prices on your menu. If you have custom products, you could have a starting price, you could have a minimum order price, you could have something on there that's going to help people choose, are you the person they want to work with or not? That's going to save you a lot of time as well because you're going to stop fielding questions from people who weren't going to be your customer anyway. Like imagine going to a store, like a retail store, let's say Walmart, and there's no prices on anything, and you have to go and ask people. That could be a real problem, and it's going to cause a lot of work for the employees. So I am very much a have the prices up front type of person. And then somewhere on there, you definitely need your contact information to let anybody know who's looking at the menu how to reach you right away. Right? You might have someone who needs an order ASAP. You might have someone that needs to give the menu to someone else because they're looking at ordering, like a corporate order. So it needs to kind of be a efficient all-in-one paper or image that can be sent off. Now, I want to mention something here real quick, just for those of you that are new to QR codes. They are very super useful. I use them all the time, but I want you to remember that if you're going to share your menu with a QR code digitally, so like sending it, posting it on Facebook or posting it on Instagram or sending it to someone on their phone, you would have to have an additional phone to capture the image of the QR code, is my understanding, at least at this point, to use it. So having a QR code take up space on your menu if it's digital doesn't really make any sense. So just keep that in mind. You might want to share the link, when you're posting it to the menu or to your page or whatever it is you're trying to link them to. Now, we definitely focus on covering pricing tips and copywriting strategies in the Elite program too. So copywriting, like if you're trying to write the words for your menu and you want to make it sound really good or sexy, or if you're not sure how to price things or where to put the prices or how to formulate what goes on top through, what items to put first based on price, we definitely talk about what those strategies look like to make sure you know exactly how to accomplish each section of the menu and make it as attractive as possible. You want people to go all the way through. Hey, Liana. Hey, good to see you all. Is it LaKoya? LaKoya? I don't know if that's your middle name or your first name. Good to see you. All right, so overall, when we're thinking about what content to include, the most important content, consider your menu prime real estate for the eyeballs. Okay, so like everything they're looking at should be very important and very direct. And I really suggest only including what's absolutely necessary, enough to get them interested, but not the whole story. And you want the items, because I'll get questions, out of, cupcakes, cakes, cookies, and cake pops, what should I have on the menu? My suggestion is your market gap products and situating your value ladder. So it really depends on when you're using those two sales strategies, which of those products are fitting into those. Market gaps are products you've investigated in your area. So you've done some kind of market research. I'll walk you through that in the elites as well, to figure out, if I had this product and I offered it, I know there'll be buyers, because I've done investigation to figure out what are people looking for, what are people not being serviced well or enough in. And I've done some maybe polls or audience, focus groups to figure out, is this a product that people want? Is this a product that people will buy? Those market gap items definitely go on the menu. Your value ladder is a selling strategy where you fill in your ladder of products and offers in such a way to move a client up a ladder to larger and more profitable sales. We go over this in full as well. It shows you how to set up, there are some people that when they're offering products are not thinking about the ladder. So there might be a situation where you're not actually able to offer a high ticket or a higher priced item or offer because you haven't set up your ladder. So everything that you're offering is kind of on the low end of the ladder, which means that when you have a client, you can't ever move them up the ladder, right? So you can't ever turn them into a higher revenue client because your ladder is not very tall. So we talk about situating, having just certain ones at certain levels. You don't want to focus too much on, bottom, middle, top. You want there to be a nice spread. And then once you figure out your ladder, you can definitely build a menu out of that, because you know that a person looking at your menu might have already bought from you before. So they might be able to go up the ladder quickly. Or you might have just talked to the right person and they're on your top tier, high ticket, high dollar offer right away because they need it for XYZ. And then you might have people coming in at the lower rungs as well. And that's fine too. That's why it's set up that way. So essentially having it based on your value ladder is going to create more profitable sales over time. That's where the consistent sales menu, the sexy consistent sales menu comes in. Okay. And like I mentioned, we cover both of these two core business concepts in the elites, because you always want a strategy behind your menu setup, right? You want a strategy behind everything you do, number one. But your menu setup, because it's kind of a long-term, and it can change over time, but a long-term setup, right? When you make a menu, you want it to last a couple months or even a year, right? You don't want to change your menu every week. You could have a seasonal menu or something that rotates, but your main solid menu is what we're talking about today, having that solid strategy set up. Hi. Danielle says, how do you feel about naming your individual products? I named the basic challah the OG. Let's see. Okay. So when it comes to naming products, I am 100% okay with silly, cute names. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think it starts to create that inner circle feel, like people know when people start ordering from you, they're going to know what the OG is, right? Like they're going to know to say, hey, I need an order of the OG, or hey, have you tried the OG? I think it creates this kind of like subculture within your community of clients. And I think that's good. But my only addition to that would be, if I was looking at your menu, making sure that you had a sentence or maybe a group of words or a sentence that would tell me what it is, so that if I'm a first-time buyer, I know that it's called the OG, but I also know that is your basic challah, right? So I think that having it named and then giving a little in parentheses or italics or however you want to do it, just a little something, so that if I were to be, so I would feel comfortable ordering, because sometimes I'll look at menus that don't do that, right? They'll just have the cute name and I like it, but, and I'll talk about this in a moment, but I stop myself from ordering because I just don't know what it is. It would take me an extra step to ask you what the product actually is. And if someone doesn't know you, they might not feel comfortable enough to do that. So normally that's what I would suggest. Okay. LaCoya says, yes, you said it correct. Okay, good. My teacher's social media name disguise. Yeah. Yeah, I hear that's pretty common. Some people don't even have Facebook and things like this because they've been told not to, or they can't because they're whatever jobs they have. Totally get that. Okay. Let's move on to this third section here. We talked about first impressions. We talked about what content needs to be on there. And for this last section here, I just want to cover sales generating strategies within your menu, because we talked about two, right? We talked about using strategies to choose what's in it, but I want to mention my favorite hot tips for sexy menus that need to be on there to make sure that you're moving the relationship forward and the menu is just not a stand-all item, right? We want it to create waves. We want it to create movement for clients, not a just, oh, look at that, okay, and then it's over, right? We want to tell them what to do, basically. Okay, number one, I know y'all have a lot of stuff to offer. Some of you probably have tons of great photos. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe you have like 7 pages of menu because you just want to offer everything under the sun right now. I think over time, you'll probably, if you're looking at profitability of your products, I really doubt that there's 7 pages of products that a person could offer that are profitable. It's just kind of the way it is, at least in my experience. So it's possible you're going to need to bring that down a little bit, especially for your main menu. Okay, you can have seasonal extra menus. I'm talking about your main solid menu that does not change, that people can rely on. Because if you change things really often, people are going to have a hard time buying from you if they can't get that one thing they love, right? That solid menu. If it's only available once a month, they're not going to, or maybe once a year, they're not going to be able to stay consistent buyers. And that's really what you want, right? You don't want feast or famine income. You want a recurring income. And without having something like a subscription or something set up where they are sending you money every week or every month, you need to make sure that they can rely on those standard products, those classic products that they really love. So main menus, I really think should be 1 page. I know that hurts, y'all. Some of you might be like, no, I don't want to do that. I really suggest trying to get it to 1 page. And I'm talking in generalities here, but also this is me. People are lazy and get confused easily. So if you go to some place, some kind of restaurant that has like a 10-page menu, first of all, I feel like I'm going to miss something, and I don't really want that pressure on myself when I'm trying to order something. Especially with a baking menu, 1 is perfect. 1 solid menu. I don't want to get lost. I don't want to get confused. I want to know what you offer, and I want to know if it's for me or not, and I want to know how to do it. Too many choices equal no choices. This is scientific fact. There's been plenty of studies showing this. Too many choices equals no choices made. So you don't want people to leave your menu confused or just overwhelmed, right? Number 2, don't confuse people with your words. This can happen easily because we are so intimate and close to our products that we don't understand that we're confusing people. So keep it direct in nature so people feel confident in your orders. So Danielle was saying, I want a cute name, but what else? Yeah, just have a little extra. This is for someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. This is for someone who's never had challah, right? Give them a little so that they know what they're doing. And use those sexy copywriting skills, right? Come into the elites, learn copywriting from Autumn. She just did a huge training on it. And you're going to pop in there and you're going to be, knowing what to say because you know what's attractive to people and you know what people respond to human nature wise. So don't confuse them with your words. A really good way to figure out if your menu is confusing is to make it and then send it to like 10 people that you feel like would tell you the truth. And just say, I want all of the criticism, give it to me. And just let them flood you with, I can't see that, I can't read that, that script is, that word doesn't look like the word you want it to be. I don't understand the word challah. Like whatever it is that they don't get, they'll tell you. Hopefully you have friends like this or family, and then you can work it up from there. You could even post it in the group, or if you're an elite in the elites, and we can look at it a little bit if you want to look at it. Okay, number 3, this is my 3rd hot tip. Always have the next step in mind. So again, we want the menu to be a fluid environment. We want them to have something to do after they've looked at the menu if they're interested. We don't want them to just put it down. So you have to ask yourself with your own business, what do you want them to do, right? Like everyone's got different avenues of how they like to connect with people, where their information is stored online, and what the next step is going to look like for an interested party. Do they need to know how to pay you, right? Like, is it a one-off, I'm having a 24-hour sale, or maybe you sell something every day and they need to get with you right away to get a spot. Maybe you'll have your payment information on there. Maybe you have an email list that you want them to join because you send out promos. Maybe you want them to call you. Maybe you'd like to do your phone conversation type of business. So that needs to be on there. Maybe you want them to join a Facebook VIP group because that's where you do a lot of your hard selling and you want them to be a part of that environment. Maybe you just want them to go to your website, right? You have to think about the next step. What do you want them to do? Tell them exactly how to do it and give them the information so that they can move into your funnel, right? It's a funnel strategy. Your menu's at the top. You've given them information to find out, is it for me or not? Can I be a part of this person's business? Can I use their services? Yes, I think I can. Okay, we're going to funnel me in and I'm going to contact them or get closer to them so that when I'm ready to buy, if it's not right at this moment, and I believe it's like 2% of people are ready to buy every time you make a post, everyone else is either not interested or just kind of thinking about it. So how can I get them closer to me so that when they are ready, I'm right there and they're ready to work with me, right? Okay. So hopefully those made sense. Ask me questions over here in the comments if you didn't understand anything I talked about. Robin says, my cookies are named after people in my life for different reasons. People love it. This goes with my business plan. Yeah, that's great. So she has used a really intimate part of her life to name her cookies, which is adorable. And more than likely, she's probably telling people a little bit about what they are as well, so that when they're ordering, they know, okay, this is, let's say it's the Robin. Maybe she named one after herself. But it's also like a chocolate chip walnut cookie, right? Hey, Kelsey, good to see you. Robin says, where do you use a menu? I have a website with all the products and they can purchase there. Are menus used for social media only, or in my case, a special event or a flash sale? Yeah, so whenever I make menus, I do multiple things with them. The first one is I definitely have it on my website, somewhere local that I can send people links to it, because there might be someone online that says, hey, I want to share your menu, or I need to look over the cake flavors or whatever. So having it on the internet with a link, I can send it to them. Secondly, sometimes for events like you're talking about, I will print it out so that when people are perusing the table, or maybe they want, if it's like a brochure or some kind of printout, they can take it home with them. I also send it with people who are corporate or groups who are wanting to partner for larger events or regular recurring orders. I'll give it to them in printed form as well so that they can share it with their group. They can look it over. They can, keep it on file. So yeah, it's really, in person or digital sharing wherever you feel like it needs to go. I would have it as a pinned post on my business Facebook page as well. So if the welcome mat post we've always talked about, you can have your welcome mat post that's pinned and then, your menu down in the images of that post. Yeah, I mean, you could do lots of different things with it, but yeah, it's just for sharing and to give people some information about what you do and how they can work with you. Okay. So I will also mention that there's a big training vault with probably close to maybe 100 hours of content in it now inside the Elite Mentorship Program. Some of you are already in there. You've seen it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of really important information. It's available to Elites 24/7. So this contains a load more sales strategies, business strategies that work for pretty much any baking business model, depending on how you're trying to serve your customers. There's a lot of good information in there. So if you've listened this far into our talk today and you really want to make sure that you have a sexy, exciting menu, right? You don't want to lose people with your menu, just like that Peruvian restaurant lost me, never going there. If you're excited about this, right? You're thinking, okay, I want this to be part of my business, because you understand it really is important. You understand it's your first impression. It's your first chance. It's a way that you're opening a door. It's like your front door, right? You're opening it to new people. This is what's going on with me. Maybe we can work together. What do you think? Kind of thing. We do have a very popular mini course that's covering menu creation from scratch, a lot of what we talked about today and so much more. This course itself includes a Canva walkthrough. So I talked about Canva platform if you've never used it before, or maybe you haven't and you're just not sure how to use it. We do a walkthrough in there with a free template, so you don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. The Canva itself. Using a free template, showing you how to set up a beautiful menu. It's actually the menu I use on that platform. And it's that same platform that all the coaches use for their various business needs. So we have that mini course here if you want more information in a handheld walkthrough on how to do this. It's available in the course shop for $57. That's how much it costs right now. Or you do have a chance to get it absolutely free along with our professional contract course. I don't know if you've seen that, but essentially it gives you a contract template, comprehensive contract template that can be used from anything from weddings to cupcakes. And I give you video walkthrough. I show you how to customize it for your own business. And then you end with your professional contract, probably within less than a day or a couple hours, depending on how long it takes you to customize. It shouldn't take too long though. So that's over $100 in value, those two courses together. You get it for free if you join the Elites by June 6th. So all the stuff we talked about today, all extensive information inside the program, plus 100 hours of other content you can pick from depending on where you are in your business. So June 6th, last day you can join to get those two things for free, menu course and contract course. We love to treat our elites. It's our favorite thing to do because they're our VIPs. And it's just one way we like to give a warm welcome and a hand up. So right when you join, you get this little push, this little boost. So you have something special in your back pocket to get things kind of situated. And we like to welcome you to our tight-knit family in that way. So that's why we love to do our bonuses. When you work with us, we make sure that you have what you need to succeed. So that's the other thing about the Elites is when you're in there, you literally just ask for things, for information. We give you links, we give you resources, we shoot little videos. We're basically just a 3-person coach team working for you. Right here in the group is 24/7 accessible, so you can go in there and get help whenever you need it. If you're interested in looking at this program, comment with Elite over in the comment box. I'd be happy to send information to you, all the details. You can also send me a private message. We can chat about it. We can see what talk about what's inside and see if it fits to where you are on your baking business journey. You can even schedule a private consultation with me, which some people really feel like they need because they want to chat about it before they make any decisions, which I totally get that. I always take consultation calls when I'm, going to work on projects with people because I'm always open to hearing about what you're up to. So you can fill me in on what your goals are. Maybe you don't have any goals. Maybe you just have some questions. That's fine too. We can talk about where I'd like to see you move forward with what you're trying to do. You can comment with consultation over in the comment box. I can always send you a link to sign up for that as well, so you can pick a time that works for you. Or you can message me directly so we can connect, and I'll give you the link and you can check. I think I added some extra spots over the next couple days too, just in case you want to get in before June 6th, so you have a chance to ask your questions directly if you need to. We can also do email if you don't want to talk on the phone or Zoom. That's fine too. Okay, so this is all I have for you today. Oh, Robin says she's loved the printed idea. Yeah, for sure. Ileana, the menu course is called the Perfect Menu Course. It's a little mini course up in the course platform on Teachable that we have. I can send you the link for it if you need it. Okay, so that's it for me today. I'll catch you all in the group next week for our Thursday Fave session. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. If you want to join us in the Elites, you have to June 6th to get both of those courses for free. Contract course and the menu course. Of course, I'd love to send those to you. They're so amazing. So let me know if you have any further questions about that. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.